Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. We please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow, there's some people who are waving at you.
Oh, I thought this thing would pick up my voice. All right. Hey, Mrs. Isha, whenever you are ready for roll call.
Mrs. Cerrucci. Here. Mrs. Delaney.
Here.
Mr. Gottman.
Here.
Mr. McIntyre.
Here.
Ms. Mungo.
Here.
Mr. Ritter.
Here.
Mrs. Warning. Here. And Mr. Williams.
Here.
Okay, first item for business. We have a school board member years of service presentation. So, good evening. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Pennsylvania School Boards Association to honor a school board director for their years of dedication to the Gateway School District. School board service has long been a crucial part of our nation's legacy and its commitment to public education. As the first school boards association in the United States, the PSBA has a rich history with more than 125 years of service. The consummate school directors are described as ethical, principled individuals with a deep desire to serve. They believe in the value of our public schools and local control of public education for the benefit of all students. Today, school districts are expected to offer more services along with world-class instruction with limited resources. These expectations provide a tremendous challenge for school directors, unpaid volunteers who give their time to contribute to the schools and communities they serve. Schools continue efforts to provide high-quality, continuous education to all students during the pandemic, further highlights the key role school directors play in educating our children. For more than 35 years, the PSBA has been recognizing the contributions of dedicated local school directors with long-term service. The honor roll is the association's way of thanking those individuals who exemplify leadership by giving unselfishly of their time and talents for the betterment of the public schools serving students across this great Commonwealth. It gives me immense pleasure to recognize Mr. Scott Williams for being part of this rich legacy and to present him the certificate of appreciation for his years of service at Gateway.
Sorry I couldn't be there.
20 years of service for Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Scotty. Thank you for your service.
Thanks, Scott.
I'm sitting in the hospital.
Aw.
We wish you were here.
Me too. Spider bite. Spider bite got infected. My hand's about 3 times the size it should be.
Oh.
Oh,
Still waiting for webbing to shoot out of it, but it's not happening. But anyway, I'm doing okay. I wish I was there, and thank you guys very much.
Glad you're with us tonight.
thank you. Okay, next item up, we're going to have an update on our Gateway Middle School construction project. And I'd like to ask Mr. Brown to come up and give us the update.
Everybody's been asking what's going on with our middle school renovation. So we were able to go there now that we've got our permits all finalized. So we'll show you some things here. Might go and disappear. Don't know how many of you are familiar with the middle school. Quite a few people have been through there. This is what used to be the main courtyard when you went into the front door of the school. What you see now is the backside of the library, which is going to be extended into the media center. And the windows you're looking through are going to be 4 new classrooms. So that whole area is going to be and redone completely differently. Another picture of the same thing, and allows you to see what the building was. There's large machines driving down the corridors at this point to clear out these areas to make room for the new rooms. As you can see, it's pretty extensive just in that one small area. This, for those who are familiar, was the entrance to the office. As you can see, it's all gone. So what that's going to be is the 5th grade wing when it's all said and done. It does look a little bit like overseas.
Yeah.
So again, where this piece of equipment is, that's where the front door was. To give you an idea where you were at in the building. This just happened since the board took a tour a little over a week ago. This was the art wing in the nurses suite, which is now going to be the new administration office, guidance, and nurses. It does look a little bit messy at this point, but the crews have been doing an excellent job of keeping everything as neat as a construction site can be. You can see different things coming along. This is through one of the classroom windows looking out at the front of the roadway. Inside the gym, as they're in the process right now of getting all of this. Seems we've got a little bit of mix up on the pictures. This was the locker rooms at one point, and now is going to become the new visitor locker room, weight room, and aerobics area. This is the rear next to PennDOT. We had to remove all the trees for Duquesne Light to bring in all the power needed to run the building. And this will be the area that it all comes in from Route 48. New locker rooms that are being built. You can see all the underground plumbing is in those areas already. This will be the new indoor-outdoor restrooms, which what used to be the swamp, or the gator pit, some called it. The plumbers have gotten quite far. Most of their things are hidden, but they're doing quite a job. So there's a lot of things that are hard to see over there. The electricians have been moving along tremendously. But again, all that stuff is underneath crawl spaces. Can't really see it very well, but it's the infrastructure for the building. So right now, we're probably 80% of the demo is complete. All the asbestos is 99%. We have 2 classrooms that need to be mitigated, and that'll be 100%. So they're moving along quite well.
And just understanding the condition of the building. It was built in the early 1950s, so the abatement was a big issue. It's been completed, and you see the interior of the building and the construction that's taking place there to make it a more modern educational use facility. So we've been pleased with the efforts of the construction companies. They, in return, have thanked us because of their ability to go into that structure, really avoiding any type of conflict because we have the students at Mosside Middle School. So they're able to come in. As you see, that's a lot of construction, demolition, a lot of construction workers in place, and to operate.
To change our mind. We just go back.
Go back to that building? I don't think so. And to operate freely without any issues is a major deal for the construction company. So it's working out to our advantage.
And thanks to the board, they actually made that happen, allowing these guys to do their work uninterrupted.
Bob, just if I might, Brian, while we have you up there, so I don't have to drag you up there later, if you could just maybe
give some background or some information as to the change of orders that's going to be coming up in the agenda here pertaining to that construction, a total of $166,000. Just touch on that, why it wasn't in the original bid, how it was discovered.
Well, what everybody has heard on the news and everywhere else, the supply chain issues that are going on throughout the world. This is primarily steel, that being able to get it is unheard of. It's 6-8 months out. There had to be some changes in order to be able to complete this job on time. We had to switch what type of roof joists and roof trusses that were being used in order to do that. And that's really what this entire change orders, there's 3 of them there.
So we're going to use steel, but now
We're still using steel.
Okay.
It's just a different style.
Yeah.
A joist versus, or a truss versus a joist. It's the way they're made in order to handle the roof loads and everything that's sitting on a roof, like all the rooftop heating and cooling units. So in order to be able to get this and complete it on time, we had to make a few changes to make that happen.
so ideally we wanted to use the joist, but now because of time constraints, we're having to kind of kick down the truss.
Time constraints and availability. And that's what-
Trusses use less metal.
they use a different type of metal. You know, a truss uses cold rolled steel, where a bar joist uses like a rebar. And you might have seen them, they're kind of zigzag. So it's the type of metal that's being produced and the strengths that are needed in order to handle the loads and the availability of those products.
We had several meetings with Lycarius Construction. They're the construction contractor for the building. Also, our construction manager, foreman, Mr. Brown, myself, Mr. Schott, and seeing firsthand how the supply chain has evolved over the last 6, 10, 12 months with the companies and their attempt to purchase steel and the prices. Initially, they would be quoted, and I have a 30-day leeway in order to see if, the district would be purchasing that steel. They now came back with a 7-day lead time for steel, which is unheard of at that price because it's constantly changing. And it's not changing for the good, it's changing for the bad.
All right, just keep these change orders to a minimum.
That's our goal.
Because we've seen other neighboring districts
Oh, yeah.
go
Oh, yeah.
a little haywire and run their whole district into the ground with these change orders.
And change orders in a renovation are more prevalent because there's a lot of things you cannot see. So, but these guys have been doing a heck of a job trying to keep that to a minimum.
Thank you, Bob.
All right.
How much you like getting up here and speaking.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. All right, we are going to move on to comments from residents on agenda items. Mrs. Isha, do we have anybody who has signed up?
Not in advance.
Okay. No one signed either? Okay, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on agenda items at this time? Okay. Seeing none, we can move on to section A, minutes of previously held meetings. And resolve that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves the minutes of the following previously held meetings: the study session meeting of September 14th, 2021, and the regular board meeting of September 27th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mrs. Mungo. Do you have any questions or comments on section A? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. We're going to move on to section B, financial reports. Mr. Schott?
Thank you, Mr. Gottman. Section B, resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves sections B1 list of bills and B2 financial statements as listed in Section B at the Tuesday, October 19th, 2021 regular board meeting. Those consist of the Section B1 list of bills for October 2021, the second Section B1 list of bills for October 2021 added after the study session meeting, and finally, Section B2 financial reports for September 2021 also added after the study session meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mrs. Delaney. Do we have any questions or comments on section B? All right. Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Delaney.
Aye.
Mr. Gottman.
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre.
Aye.
Ms. Mungo.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to section D, personnel agenda. Mrs. Crump?
Thank you, Mr. Gottman. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors accepts and approves the personnel agenda items 1 through 8 as listed in section D for the regular board meeting of Tuesday, October 19th. Under resignations, we have a total of 8. 4 have been added since the last study session. Again, we do want to congratulate Sandy Bilowski. She has been with the district for 36 years, and we congratulate her on her upcoming retirement. Under leave of absence, we have 5 presented, 2 are additional since the study session. Transfers, we present 5, 2 have been added since the study session. Under employment, we're recommending 3 paraprofessionals, 1 custodian, 2 substitute food service workers. And we also would like to approve the position of administrative assistant to the superintendent to be added to the educational support compensation and benefit plan at a salary of $57,326. Under section 6, we are awarding tenure to Kayla Biscup and Megan Cordisco. 7 supplemental contracts. We have reinstatements, requests for reinstatements, resignations, and issuance. And under 8 for volunteers.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mrs. Mungo. Do we have any questions or comments on section D? Okay, seeing none. Mrs. Eshok, we have a roll call.
Mr. Gottman.
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre.
Aye.
Ms. Mungo.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye on all except in section 8, John Ritter, I have to abstain from voting for myself as a volunteer coach.
Mrs. Warning.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci.
Aye.
And Mrs. Delaney.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to move on to section E, conferences and conventions. Dr. Short?
Thank you, Mr. Gottman. We have Dr. Fakey take conferences and conventions.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves the following individuals as listed to attend the PASBO conference in Hershey, PA.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Cerucci, second by Mr. McIntyre. Questions or comments on section E? Okay, seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Mr. McIntyre.
Aye.
Ms. Mungo.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci.
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney.
Aye.
And Mr. Gottman.
Aye. Okay, now we're going to move on to section F, the administrative report. Dr. Short?
Thank you again, Mr. Gottman. Elementary education, we'll start with Dr. Rossi.
Sure. Item number 1 is a professional meeting for Ms. Kunich as listed. Item number 2 is approve the agreement with Catapult Learning for 2 on-site professional development coaching days. Depicted in Exhibit A. Item number 3 is a motion to accept the CS and PA Build Fly Code Grant Award as depicted in Exhibit B. Item number 4 is a motion to approve the Title II and Title IV expenditures for the non-public school share of federal funds. Item number 5 is motion to approve the pilot of spring map.
Item number 6, approval for display of the PA Future Ready Comprehensive Planning Portal, comprehensive plan. Item number 7, supplemental teaching positions. Approve the creation of the following supplemental positions to participate within the GHS credit recovery program during the winter cohort.
Item number 8, approve the renewal of the charter for the Spectrum Charter School with all requested charter amendments for the period January 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2025, as depicted in Exhibit D. Item number 9, approve the change orders for Liacarius Construction Company in a total net amount of $166,000 as depicted below. And item number 10, this was added after study session meeting. Accept the following district donation received during the 2021-22 fiscal year, specifically the donor sheets, $500 check to Emily Levine, purchase of playground equipment at the Dr. Cleveland Stewart Junior Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mrs. Mungo. Do you have any questions or comments on section F?
Yes, Brian. Dr. Cherokee, can you give us a little bit more information on the Future Ready Comprehensive Planning Portal? This is something that's done every 3 years.
Yes, this,
And
I can maybe jump in on that.
If I could just quickly, these mics are picking up for the Zoom and everything, but I think some of the folks in the back are having trouble hearing us. So we can try and work our opera projection.
Raise my voice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Delaney. The PA Future Ready Comprehensive Planning Portal is a relatively new process. It really replaced the old strategic plan that was initiated several years ago in the Pennsylvania Department of Education. There are several components to this that have to go on display. And as you see with the bulleted items, there is a Future Ready Comprehensive Plan goals and action items, professional development, educator induction program, and gifted education assurances. Again, this is the phase 2 process of this. We would also like to have, and I was about to announce this after we had finished, parent and community involvement with this process as we move forward, because we are building this portal to allow us to set the vision for the next 3 years. And there are clear guidelines for this. And we would have meetings, public meetings, and we would be inviting individuals. So you will see an invite on our website for anyone that has an interest in this. And hopefully we're able to convene a meeting here by mid-November.
all right,
And this was delayed due to COVID. Initially, it was to be rolled out in 2020, but due to COVID and subsequent COVID this year, they have extended it through, I believe, November of 2021, and perhaps moving into 2022.
okay, thank you.
Do you have any other questions on section F? Okay, seeing none, Mrs. Eshaw, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Mungo.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning. Aye. Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney.
Aye.
Mr. Gottman.
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre.
Aye.
Okay.
Right. Table.
Okay, and we move on to section G, resolutions presented by board members.
Motion to table.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mrs. Cerrucci.
All in favor.
Ms. Eshaw, can we have a roll call for tabling?
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney.
Aye.
Mr. Gottman.
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre.
Aye.
Ms. Mungo.
Aye.
All righty, and for all those in attendance, the resolution G, that will, we have 30 days from Mr. Gallagher's resignation to fill the vacancy. With the timing of our last September meeting, the deadline for that would be October 28th. So we will be having a special meeting for that, and that will be announce once we have the date, and we also notify the public of the platform as well, whether it be in person or virtual. So keep tabs on our Gateway website for that information. Okay, we're gonna move on to comments from residents on non-agenda items. Mrs. East, I believe anybody has signed up as well for this?
Signed up now.
No one for anything? Okay, is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on non-agenda items?
Power button on the bottom. Underneath, little switch. Red. Yep. Tap on it a couple times, that'll wake it up. There you go.
Okay. My name is Jeanette Eagle, I'm the Monroeville resident. Wanted to come and ask some questions about what's been going on Side Middle School the past week and a half, 2 weeks. Would like Dr. Short maybe to be given the opportunity to let the parents know about the rumors going around. We got email last week, followed 15 minutes later by an email with the use of metal detectors. Another email Sunday night, and there are just a lot of rumors going around. And I, as a parent, would like to be able to talk to my kids about it and to let them know really what's going on. Still reporting things they hear, but we need to stop the rumors because I'm really tired of picking my kids up every day hearing, I hear this, I hear that, I hear this, I hear that. So just give you the opportunity to let the parents know what happened,
Sure, and
an investigation that was done, and what to expect from here.
first off, I would like to thank all the parents, families, children who stepped up and reported through the Safe to Say website information. They have also discussed with their teachers, principals, and of course at home with their parents and family. Last week, Mosside Middle School, Mr. Jack, the principal, reported to Central Administration that a student heard from another student the potential of a threat against the school. At that point in time, immediately, the principal made contact with the Monroeville Police. Detectives were involved. It was investigated. The actual parent, child were interviewed, and it was deemed to be no threat, no credible threat against the school. And this was reiterated in a letter that I had sent out, explaining everything in detail after I had spoken with the Monroeville Chief of Police, who also informed me of the steps that the Monroeville Police took immediately after hearing this rumored threat. Please understand that when these things happen, a lot of times they tend to escalate, snowball into situations, but as my letter indicated, we always err cautiously for the betterment of the student, staff, and administration. At no time was anyone in danger at Mosside Middle School. At no time. We clearly communicated with the police. We had our Gateway School District Police along with Monroeville Police in the building, including central administrators as well. So education did take place during those days. The situation was addressed, and we will continue to monitor the events if any other rumors come forward. But I can assure everyone at this point in time, the building is safe and there is no perceived threat. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Did any other residents like to speak on non-agenda items this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we're gonna move on to the superintendent's report.
That's all I have. I was going to address it tonight. That jumped right in, so thank you.
Okay, well then we'll move on to Dr. Rossi,
Nothing further, thank you.
Dr. Jakey,
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Schott,
Nothing further. Thank you.
Mrs. Crump.
Just to remind our audience that we are accepting applications for several staff positions. If you're interested, please contact our office. Thank you.
Mrs. Bungard,
Nothing further. Thank you.
and we'll move on to board reports and who went last time, so we'll start on this side of the room. Mrs. Ritchie.
I have nothing except a personal congratulations to Gateway High School hockey team for their first season victory last Friday.
All right. Perfect. Mrs. Mungo,
I have nothing.
Mr. McIntyre.
Nothing other than, again, just another thank you to Scott Williams for, the 4 years has felt like an eternity. I think the last year has felt like 20. I don't know how you've been able to do this for 20 years, sir, but you should be commended for it, and I thank you for your service.
Mrs. Delaney.
You forgot Miss Warren.
Mrs. Warning. Mrs. Warning.
Mrs. Delaney and I had the pleasure of the meet and greet today over at Ramsey with the new principal, Mr. Rossi with 1S. It was very nice, and just want to welcome him here to Gateway, and he'll be an asset to Ramsey. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ritter.
Sure. The PSBA had its advocacy day on the 14th. I attended and visited with Senators Lindsey Williams, Wayne Montana, Representatives Emily Kinkead, Valerie Gatos, Summer Lee, and Dan Miller. And generally speaking, we just talked about the state of affairs of school districts right now. We're suffering under COVID, staffing shortages, on bus transportation issues, and on and on. So nothing that they were unaware of, but it was nice for them to see our faces and for us to see their faces and just make that connection. So it was a virtual meeting this time. So we didn't get to go to Harrisburg, but it was a good day. It was a long day, good day. That's all I've got.
Mrs. Ritter. Mrs. Delaney.
Okay, I've got a few things. Again, I'd like to also congratulate Scott Williams on his 20 years and counting. And I had, as Ms. Warning said, we had an opportunity to visit with Ramsey and meet and greet. And this was actually Mr. Rossi's first day as the Ramsey principal. And he seemed very excited to get started, and we're excited that he's there. And second, I had an opportunity to go to the football game, but I was very disturbed when I saw that they had put on one of the websites that Gateway lost to Woodland Hills, and it said 40-21. I don't know if anybody else caught that.
Fake news.
But Gateway won. It was just great seeing all the kids and seeing them play. And my son, who hadn't been back to the school in over 20 years, he was excited to be there as well. And also, just a few Black history facts. We lost one of our great statesmen, American General Colin Powell, who died the other day at the age of 94. Even though he had complications of other illnesses, he was also diagnosed as having died of COVID as well. And our prayers and all go out to his family, because he has contributed a lot to this country. And those that have read and found out even the history of when he came over as a son of immigrants and so forth. And if you read about it, you'd be amazed of all the things that he was able to accomplish in that time. And also in Black history, October 19th, 1870, first African Americans were elected to the House of Representatives. And also one other thing during this day of October 19th, 1944, the U.S. Navy began admitting African-American women to serve as administrative officers in the Women's Reserve. That's all I have.
Hey, thank you, Mrs. Delaney. Mr. Williams.
Just thanks for the recognition and thanks for the kind words. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Scotty on his 20 years. As Rick said, I don't know how you did it, but we're happy you've been here and I hope to see you continue. 2 weeks from today is election day, so I encourage everybody to go out and vote, whether it's by mail-in ballot or in person. And also we have Halloween coming up, so all those who are be participating in Halloween, have safe, most importantly, have fun and have great costumes. So with that, the board was going to be moving into an executive session to discuss personnel where no other votes will be taking place this evening. So after that, we would be adjourning. So I believe we need to seek a motion to adjourn. All right, motion.
Seeking a motion to go into executive session.
Special executive. Okay. Seek a motion to go into executive. Okay. Motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mrs. Cerrucci. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
And we will not be returning after.
correct. There will not be a return. All righty.
Thank you for all of you coming out.
Yes.